Okay, so today, obviously the first day we had the full gear on. Really, it was still a moderate day, based on the reps. We were only at about 48 reps today, so it wasn't like it will be tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll have a lot more reps, almost double that up during the course of that day tomorrow. So it was good. A little bit longer individual tomorrow as well. We'll start to lengthen the reps with the ones, which would be good. Just kind of lengthen them up a little bit, 5, 6, 7 reps at a time. Which you saw that a little bit today during our end of our 2-minute into half today. So that was good. I thought the physicality was good. The energy was good. I thought guys stayed on their feet relatively well. That's very important during this time that we practice the right way, but still get the physical work in the run game and also in our, getting us pad ready for the season and also for our first upcoming game here coming up in next week. So we're excited where that is. Yeah, so with that, open to questions.
A bunch of guys participation-wise that require updates. There's 3 guys that missed today that were new to. Can you update us on Roshan, Nate Davis, and Kari?
Yeah, so it's going to be the same thing that was last year. So philosophy-wise with the organization, you're not going to discuss injuries. If it turns into something long-term, we will disclose that. But right now, those guys are dealing with a variation of things. They're working with the training staff to get back as fast as possible.
Coach, you had said that you would prefer to get that other corner spot solidified sooner rather than later. Last week, at least from the outside looking in, it kind of seemed like it was Tyreek's job to lose. Now you see Terrell running a lot. What combination of things between Tyreek's play and then Terrell's play has kind of led to that thing seemingly becoming an open competition?
Yeah, I would just say that it's been open. I just think that Smitty has done a good job of making plays. He was in the backup role when he started making plays, so we gave him the competition to work with the ones. And as with any rookies, you're going to have some ups and downs during training camp because they're learning the position. They're learning themselves. This is a different game up here because you're playing against, DJ Moore and Mooney and some different dudes, which is a little bit different than college, of course. But they're learning how to do that. They're getting better every day.
Yeah, with pads on and that first preseason, you kind of getting into focus. What is your plan for playing starters in the preseason?
Yeah, so we've talked about that a little bit. Have not finalized it right now, but we actually visited about that this morning, and it'll be some time. There'll be some playtime a little bit in there, but what that is right now, I'm not sure. We'll have to continue to discuss that.
Is this team in any different shape just because the advancement of the program in a year? Is it any different thinking how much they need to play in the preseason?
Yeah, it is a little bit. I think so. Because we do have 1 year of experience. Albeit we still have a very young football team, but I do think they need to get some time during preseason for sure.
Matt, the last 2 years you guys have added a lot of players, and those are guys you pick, you have control over. When you looked at the players you inherited, what was the process, the guys that were here already when you took the job, what was the process of evaluating what you thought those guys could be? Because it might not necessarily have been what the previous staff was using them for.
Yeah, I think that's, the art of scouting and coaching, right? Look at the skill sets of the players, and you're referring to, Mooney and Cole and Justin and all the guys that were here, and Eddie, and there's some good players there. Those guys are really good players. They got a lot of good skill sets, and they fit what we believe. They fit right into the HITS principle. They all play hard. They're intense guys. They're focused. They're smart players and they're talented. And all those guys are, certainly, now they carry the flag for us, with the rookies coming in, the rookie class we had the first year. So great bunch of guys, and the guys that have stuck around are those types.
How did you guys figure that out specifically with Tevin? And it does apply to all the guys you mentioned too, anybody that you inherited. But with Tevin, he was clearly on one track, and you guys put him on a much different track, but were able to get something valuable out of him.
Yeah, it's just, you look for the good in people, and you're really trying to stretch them, physically and mentally, and then find the position that fits them best. And we were fortunate enough to be able to move him in to guard, and he, actually shined there and did a nice job, for some of the year last year. Now, he's still got a lot of growth to do. He's still got a lot of, learning to do with the position, and but he's continuing to do that.
And as you watch Brisker's growth, and you talked last week about finding elite competitors, where do you see him in that regard?
Yeah, he's one of our guys that is a definitely elite competitor. He loves to compete. He loves football. We love Jaquan's his emotion, his passion, and with a guy like that runs his motor runs that hot. where you have to, he has to harness it into a controlled situation where it works for him all the time. And he's done a great job with that. And we're excited to see him play this year for sure.
Specifically on the INT he had at the end of 2 minute drill, what did you see on that play?
Yes, it was. I mean, it wasn't as good as the one in New England, but it was pretty. It was pretty good. But yeah, he's a talent for sure. I thought he was good in his quarter there, and he broke off the hash and did a nice job of high pointing the ball.
Matt,
way
in
back
the
in.
2 minute, with Justin buying time, kind of avoiding the rush, buying time, finding more on 3rd and 5. What is that an example of as far as like his growth? What did you see on that play that might have been different from him in that situation last
Yeah, I
year?
thought he did a good job of going through his reads to start. So he went through his progression, then he felt the pocket breakdown, and then he did his thing. And that's what we're talking about. During situations, that was a situation, right? We're in 2 minute into half. We're trying to score a touchdown. We'll take a field goal. Where he utilized that, and that was real. So again, the D line likes to say they got him a couple of times, but I'm back there, I can see. So it was a real play and did a nice job of finding the open guy. So got a chance to work our scramble drill there and find open people.
You told us back in March that your OTA plan and your minicamp plan involved more passing. Just you wanted more reps out there. And does that apply to training camp, or are you throwing more now than you did last year at this time? And how has that borne fruit since you started doing it?
Yeah, I think it's good. We're having longer, 7-on-7s, and certainly with the ones being in there, that's always been helpful. Doing more 2 minute into half into game stuff, more situations in there. But in that same regard, we have to establish our running game. With our pads on during training camp, the physicality, the Chicago Bear way is to run the football, stop the run, and we're gonna work everything we can to get that done this year.
How do you parse growth you've seen from Justin this year over last, from the receivers that he's throwing to? And you've got a lot more experience out there now, and some guys with some special skills compared to last year.
Yeah, I just think it's that, Pat. I just really do. It's just the experience of being in the system 1 year, right? And then the addition of the skill sets. So he's throwing to more skill, right? And he's had time on task with those guys, so he feels comfortable with the skill he's throwing to. It's you saw a lot of good connections today to Clay. That was pretty cool. And, obviously DJ had that real nice slant. And then still working the tight ends. There's a lot of options there. It's hard to cover them all. When you get down there in the red zone and even on normal downs.
Matt, on passing plays, are you coaching Justin right now in training camp to focus on throwing and not if he sees an opening to take off like he would in a game, to resist that and stay back there and throw?
Yeah, just go through his reads. Just play it real. Play it real. So he goes through his reads. You got the rhythm and the timing. There's a time clock that there's on each play that he needs to get the ball out, and he knows that. And when it stops, he's got to move on to the next thing. And sometimes that is moving out of the pocket and creating.
Are you happy with how quickly the ball's coming out?
Yeah, he's doing a good job. I think the rhythm was pretty good. And again, we did a lot of low red zone stuff today, which those windows are tight down there. So it's throwing the ball low and away sometimes and away from the defender down there because it is tight. And you got to throw some one balls down there too.
Matt,
How do you see that
this is up
connection with Claypool developing with Justin and Chase?
It's good. It's good. It's been good the last couple of days. I can see it growing and growing. He's starting to learn him, because again, he wasn't here in the spring. And we think it's a real positive thing.
When Justin takes off and runs in a drill, do you learn anything from that? Like, I mean, other than we all know he's a pretty good runner, does that help the defense at all, or not?
Yeah, it does. It does. Because he takes off, it moves out of the pocket, so it helps us with our coverage. And then, being able to, cup the quarterback when he's running the ball. Obviously, we stay away from him, but we're still going to take our leverage angle and our angle point that we need to on defense. So yeah, I think it's very helpful.
I imagine you were eager to see the two young D tackles in pass for the first time. I know you still got to go back and watch tape. Did you see anything flash from either Javon or Zach today that kind of stuck out to you?
Yeah, I've been impressed with both guys the whole camp. I mean, this is practice 6, so this is the first one in pads. And we've had some one-on-one pass rushes, up to this point. We had some today, and both those guys have done a nice job rushing the passer. Very powerful guys, very athletic, quick for their size. So we're pleasantly surprised, or not really surprised, but pleasantly, where they are. We're excited where they are for sure.
Similarly, you had an opportunity to see Darnell Wright in pads for the first time. Just your evaluation of his day overall, and then how did he do in that 2 minute drill?
Yeah, he was good. You know, the one thing I like about him, you know, in the one-on-one pass rush, you know, or when he gets a single out there, that he does a really good job of, he quick sets nice, gets in position, stays in position when he's pass protecting, and he stays nice and square to the line of scrimmage, and he doesn't get, you know, fooled with an outside. And if somebody tries to come inside, he does a really good job of working them back to the center there. So really good balance, body control, and now he's got a lot to learn as a young guy. You know, you can ask Braxton that. You know, so he's on his way, but he has a lot of learning to do.
Luke said with Justin in his second year in the offense, he can go deeper with some of the concepts, and his words were they can get a little crazier this year, I guess maybe just in terms of play design and creativity. How are you seeing that show up in these first 6 practices with what with what he's drawing up for them offensively?
Yeah, I mean, like I said the other day, it's, you know, different motion shifts, designs of different plays and concepts. We're putting all these things in at the same time, which everybody does in training camp. And the same thing defensively, you're doing that. You don't do that during the course of a game week. So it's a lot of material that these guys got to soak in, and we stretch them that way. And he does a great job with understanding the concepts every day, and he's been good with it. And I'm excited to see him, you know, throw the ball down the field, you know, like he did a couple times today, and made some connections down there. And we're going to continue to do that.
Matt, you guys have talked a lot about rebuilding Javon's stance from the ground up. Where is he at in that kind of process, and are you comfortable that he can make an impact even as during the season as you still rebuild that?
Yeah, I think he's working hard on it. You know, he's been working hard on his flexibility with the performance staff. You know, he's been doing different things, Pilates and yoga and different things like that for a big man. You know, it's pretty cool for him to see that, working on his flexibility. And he's got to continue to do that and learn his body. You know, as he plays against these pro players, he's got to learn how to play his position. And not only in the pass, but in the run. You know, how do I maintain my gap, you know, on play away? How do I maintain and get off, you know, like I do in pass rush every single play in a takeoff position? Because that's new to him. You know, he didn't play that way in Florida. You know, he was square and didn't take off. So now it's a relearning to do that. He's doing it some, but he's got to be more consistent with it.
Matt, when you see a guy in Tyler Scott be able to come in and right after Chase Claypool goes out and make a really big impact play,
Yeah.
what does that tell you about, you know, the confidence that he has in this offense already, being so young?
Yeah, Tyler, I'm super impressed with his maturity, you know, and the way he's learning the offense and the way he takes the concepts. And he learns at a fast rate, which really helps him because he knows what to do and then he knows how to do it and he can play fast. And that's kind of what you're seeing there. And he's on track to where he needs to be right now, for sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.